Hello guys, I'm back today with the same topic, interview training, especially interview skills. Today my question is how to speak in an interview, and I'm going to give you some tips to clear your interview. I hope it's going to be workable for each one of you if you are going to sit in an interview in just a couple of days from now. Let's start with three parts of communication. I have divided communication skills in three parts. The first part is the verbal part, which constitutes 7%. It means that listener would have the ability to understand, and with this will comes from the particular words you say. I'll speak in other words. That means the selection of words you have in your interview would have the impact of 7% on the interviewer. Let's move on to the second one, which is vocal. It constitutes, one more second, it constitutes 38%. It means listeners' ability to understand comes from the way you say the word and how you're going to show your excitement in your voice. Let's move on to third category, which is visual. This is more than these two. That means 55%. That means listener would have the ability to understand you from your body language and your confidence. So let's compare these three, and I should repeat, let's recap everything. Verbal constitutes 7%, that means the selection of words. Vocal constitutes 38%, that means how you say something, right? And the third one is visuals, which is more important, which is 55%. That means listener ability to understand comes from your body language and your body confidence. Let's move on to the vocal parameter today, this one. Let's look at the vocal one. I'm going to talk about this 38% of your impact today. Now, you are going to picture your way to effective communication. Let's move on to the first one, and that is your pitch. Now, with pitch, I would like to say that how low and how high your pitch is when you are sitting in an interview. It has to be moderate, of course, but if you want to be pleasant in terms of your pitch, if it's slow, it's going to have more impact on the listeners. That means you're pleasant to the voice in terms of your voice. Second thing, and that is inflection. It means that you have to emphasize on the keywords while speaking. Let's take an example. If I'm going to say a sentence like global languages have many advantages and disadvantages, it's highly monotone. So I'm going to have inflection, and that is global languages have many advantages and disadvantages. So when I'm using the word advantages, I am using with some stress. When I'm using the word disadvantages, I'm using with stress. I repeat, global languages have many advantages and disadvantages. Now move on to the third part, that means courtesy. Be very polite when you are sitting for an interview, because it's going to impact the mindset of the interviewer also, and it's going to give an impression that you are polite, not even right now to them, but also to your colleagues in the future. Next, and that is your tone. I think tone is very important. You know what, let's understand what tone conveys. Tone conveys actually that how sincere you are, or you're saying something, be it in the form of sarcasm or sincerity, it is going to be conveyed from your tone. If you want to prove your dedication towards a job profile, your tone has to be more serious while sitting for an interview. Is this clear? Let's move on to the next one, and that is understanding. That means when you are speaking something, also check whether listeners are nodding their head or not. If they are looking at you instantaneously, that means they're trying to comprehend that what you are saying. But when they are nodding their head slightly like this or slightly like this, that means they are getting what you're trying to convey in terms of your answer. Next, and that is rate. Trust me, rate is very important. Language experts say that every Indian has a rate of around 120 words per minute. Some students even at my academy have higher rates. Now with rate, it is going to make an impact. If you're going to have rate which is around 100 words per minute, it's going to give an impact. You know why? Because when I'm saying something, I'm giving my listener time to get something in the mind at the same time and to understand the same aspect of my communication and the way I articulate myself. Last but not least is enunciation. When you are saying something and when you are speaking, also understand that you need to be louder and more clear. If you are speaking something slowly and clearly, it is going to be more convenient not only for you but also for the interviewer. So the first 30-40 seconds of your interview is going to be have the first impression. Also be very careful while having the interview that you must use these three aspects of communication. I have already talked about vocal in my first video, as well as this verbal part also. Now next video would be visuals. One important thing guys, if you like my video, please subscribe to our channel. Also, if you want any particular question to be answered, mention the same in the comment. I will just get back to you as early as possible. Thank you so much for the time.